Hello. Welcome to an abbreviated Thursday edition of You Can't Do That on Salesforce. Today we are gonna do some cards. I've been avoiding them for really no good reason. So let's get community chest and chance cards going in our game here and see what we can do. So I'm gonna open up the org. Cards, I think, are very similar to properties. You need to have an inventory of them, and then you need to create instances of them for the game. And we'll need some ways to shuffle those cards, to run through those cards, and do a few other things. I'm not going to put in all the card data yet. I'm going to try to find the card data somewhere online from some other folks who've done Monopoly stuff before. And but we'll put in some sample ones. I think I've got a few examples that we can start with. All right, let's get going. Here's our org. Get that in screen there. Cool. And let's. I'm just gonna get the stream info up so I can see any of y'all that are hanging out and have questions or want stickers. I got them. Come on by and grab a sticker. All right, let's see. I'm not even sure if we made a card object yet. So let's see if we have that. And if not, we will add one. We do? We do have a card object. Have we done anything with the card object? We have... Not really. Not much on here. We have a description, which I think is going to be the text for the card that we created. So we'll get that in there. And sorry, just trying to get set up here a second. I ran right in and got going on the stream here. Here we go. All right. Okay, let's look at cards here. We need, did we create record types? Because I feel like we would need 2 record types for these. Whoops, clicked the wrong thing. Yes, so we have chance, community, chest. Okay, so we've got a way to delineate between cards. Let's create a couple for an example. Let me see if I can find an example on the internet. Monopoly chance cards. Whole PDF. Okay. Oh, this is a template. Very, very fancy. This is not what we want, but that's neat. Let's go back. This might be a little better. Take a look at this one. Where are you? Here we go. All right, we'll... Let's see here. I don't have really great examples. Man, why is this so hard? Advance to Boardwalk. We'll make that a chance card. Okay. And let's make a community chest card. People sell weird stuff on the internet. This is like literally chance and community chest cards. Like they're $5. Isn't the game like $10? All right, community chest. Doctor's fee, pay $20. Let's use that one. So make a new card. Key chest. Doctor's fee, pay $20. Okay, cool. Got one of each now. And do we have we have something called a game property. We need something called a game card, an object that will do that for us. I think it's called game property. Yep. So game property is like an instance of a property for a game. Let's do the same thing with a card. Game card. Game cards, plural. We can auto number these because we don't really care what they're called. And make sure this fits on screen. Down there. There we go. We don't need its own. This will always be related to a game, so we don't need to have a separate tab for that. Let's make our lookups. So these can both be master detail because there's no point in having a game card if I don't have a game or a card. And there's certainly nothing security-wise that would prevent us from seeing game cards. Have to update our permission set. It has all of our stuff in it. So we created the relationship to the card. Now let's create a relationship to the game. Alright, we got that. There's going to be more data that we need to have on here, or more fields that we'll need to have on here, but I think we'll have to discover those as we go. Probably a sequence? That would make sense, right? We need to shuffle these, and the game needs to know what order the cards are in. The number doesn't have to be too huge. So essentially, if we could have a shuffling function, and that would apply a sequence to the card, to the game cards, then the game will know really what card is next anytime somebody lands on one, and that will give us the instructions for what we need to do. I think there's some kind of action logic or some kind of action indicator that we need to have on the card to say like what it does, and I feel like we went through this a little bit. Let's see. Kind of trying to process the different actions that cards perform. Yeah, here we go. So you move to a specific property, you move to a relative property like X spaces or nearest thing. You get money from the bank, you get money from players, you pay money to the bank, or in our case free parking. That's house rules for our version. You pay players, you get out of jail, or you go to jail. So I guess go to jail is really like move to specific property, right? So we can kind of bundle those in. All right, and nearest money back. So a card probably needs to know if it's moving to a specific property, we probably need to know what property that is. So I think we could create a relationship between a card, not our game card, but a card object, and a property. Let's see. So let's create a lookup. We're not always going to have this. Not all cards relate to properties. So we're not going to make it a master detail. It will probably be blank for some of these. I'm almost wondering if so on our, let's see, I think on our properties we have our record type drives the action. On our cards right now, our record types are just the two different types. But honestly, if you look at chance and community chest cards, they do the same thing. They're just two different piles. So maybe we have a type for our cards that's just sort of the benign community chest versus chance, and we use our record types to describe the action that they perform. That would also allow us to say, like, hey, if it's a move to property action or a move to property record type, I can adjust the page layout and show the property that you need to move to. If it's a different type, there's probably some different things that we would need to have. Like if I'm going to move to a property, I'm not dealing with money. If I need to give money to somebody or take money from somebody, then I need that information. So I think we'll end up making that change. But for right now, let's finish. We know we need a property field on a card. Well, that's a new bird sound. I don't know if you guys heard that. So property is going to help us with this one. Nearest relative back 3 spaces. So let's see. I suppose we could also just have an action, field, a pick list for these. Maybe we don't need to, re-architect for the record type. Let's just do that for now. We can kind of articulate these different types to ourselves. If it works out that we need to do record types, well, we'll deal with that too. But for right now, we'll just keep on cranking. So let's call this action type. Action type, yeah, I like that. In our own values. So we have move to property. We have move I might break these up. Move to nearest railroad. Move to nearest utility. Let's say move, I'm going to call it move X spaces. I can't remember if you can move forward or back. And then there's like St. Charles Place, Illinois Ave. I think there's some other. Anyway, those are the specific ones. But nearest railroad, nearest utility, X spaces. And I think the X spaces we can do positive or negative number, and it'll tell us how far to go. Get money, or get money, pay money, get money from bank. Get money from bank. I'll just be proper with my capitalization here. Get money from bank, get money from players. I think that's one. Pay money to bank. And pay, maybe we can just say money from bank, money from players, money to bank, money to players, and get out of jail. So that's a fun one because you hold on to those. That's the only card that you get to keep. So that implies that somebody owns it. That's going to make our get out of our go to jail logic fun because we'll have to add some rules to say, well, check that. Do I have one of those cards? So I think that means we're going to need like an owner field on the card, just like we have on our properties. Okay, let's start with that and see how we do. Card layout. Okay, we identified that we need an owner field if we're talking about get out of jail. So let's make that owner field a lookup to player in the game. Oh, wait. But not here. Not here. I'm sorry. This is our card. This is our card object. We need that on the game card. That's where that will actually come up. So I'm going to... Let's make a new tab here. We'll do that work on the game card object. Okay. Game card might need an owner. So let's do a lookup here. To our player. Oh, sorry, owner. Let's call that owner. This is the player in possession of the game card. Can't spell possession. Can't spell anything today, apparently. Possession of the game card. This is only valid for get out of jail. Action type. There we go. All right. So somebody can hold on to that card now if they get it. All right, we got that kind of squared away. Get out of jail. Looking back at our card object, so we've got our property. We're good with that. I think we could have an amount field, right? And it could be positive or negative. If it's positive, you get it. If it's negative, you give it. I realize I've been picking currency for a lot of the money fields, but I don't. I know it's like, I know Monopoly is like M-bucks, right? Not actually like dollars. So I don't think Salesforce has a conversion rate for that, but that's okay. We'll keep picking. We'll keep picking dollars. I think the worst amount I've ever seen had to be paid is, well, even that's not. Even that's not a ton. So there's that one card that is like collect or pay the player You move to the utility. You pay the player not, if somebody owns it, you pay the player not what the rent is, but some multiple of what you rolled. So I think that logic will have to attach to the advance to utility condition. That's probably going to be like a subflow that we have to build. And I forget if the railroads do the same thing. Or if you have to pay double or something weird. We have to find an example card. The other one is you pay for upkeep on your properties. So that one we may need. I feel like there may need to be like maybe some kind of subtype or an action or something. We were talking about like a dynamically building these at some point. I feel like there's probably a pattern there. We just haven't gotten to it yet. So we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, for now, we know we need an amount on the most of the chance and community chest cards. Just like pay 20, pay 50, pay $10 to each person, that kind of thing. So we've got that. Positive means I get the money. Negative means I pay the money. All right, that goes on our card layout. Cool. And what else do we have to do here? Get, pay, get out of jail. I think spaces. Right, move. This is only valid for the move X spaces. So let's add a spaces field. Just a number. This is number of spaces to move forward, positive, or back, negative, on the board. Okay. I think that'll cover most of them. I think we will still have to step through the deck to confirm that, but so with the cards that we have now, only got a couple. Oh, we have to update permission set, or I'm not going to see any of this stuff. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Always got to duplicate the tab. I wish it was a little. Wish you could right-click more stuff in Salesforce. All right, let's update our Forceopoly admin so we can see everything. We've been working on the card and the game card objects. So I just happened to see game card first, so we'll update this one. Okay. Probably need to indicate if a card has been played, right? So maybe like discarded is a field we need on the game card. Do that as a checkbox. Is discarded. We'll need some logic when all of our cards are discarded. Then reshuffle. We could probably do that as a whatchamacallit, as a roll-up field on the game, because the game knows about its cards. It's the master in that relationship. So we can roll that up and say, number of cards remaining, basically, and probably have to do both. I'll have to do both. So that's interesting. We're going to create game cards. It's not a big deal. We can sequence all of it, I think. we could just take all the cards, create instances of them for the game, shuffle the whole thing, right? It doesn't really matter. We just say, well, if it's, you know, chance is 1, chance is 2, community chest is 3, chance is 4. They're still in sequence, so we just want to pick the top card off of the top card for the type that we need. So yeah, that should be fine. Okay, game card is discarded. We've got that. Let's update the permission set one more time so we can see that field too. There we go. And we'll go to the card. And turn all these on. Okay, now we should see stuff that we need to see. And so now the fields that we're looking for here. All right, so doctor's fee, pay 20. So that amount, well, the action type is money to bank. And that's negative 20. That's what I'm... Do we need that? I don't know if we need to do positive or negative. We might need to do positive and negative on the spaces, but if it's money to bank, then I'm just going to subtract. There's not a lot of extra knowledge around that. So I don't think we need to worry about the positive negative thing. What was our other card? Advance to boardwalk. All right, so this is going to be a lookup to property, and that would be boardwalk. Okay, so there's 2 good examples. Oh wait, let's update the action type here. This is move to property. Okay, so now we've got a couple of options there. So we've got a working model started here, at least. We need more data, and we need some more testable actions. But I'll get us more data in. I won't belabor the stream with that, but I'll get us some more data in. And let's flip over to the flow, the take turn flow. Actually, let's go to the start game flow first, because we should we need to make whatchamacallit, we need to make cards, right? This is probably a good subflow, right? Because at the start of the game we're shuffling and sequencing, and we may have to do that at any point in the game also. Now, one thing that's might be kind of interesting is the shuffling that we have to do. They probably should be independent of each other, because so I might shuffle twice, and that's fine because we'll just sequence. We'll just order by So let's create a shuffle deck flow. I think subflow. Yep, auto launched. So to shuffle a deck, we need to know about the game that it's in. And we'll be able to pass that in. And I feel like when we shuffle... Oh, which type? Which type do we want to... card record type. We'll do that as a string for now. So I want to shuffle chance. I want to shuffle community chest. We're going to call that twice for each of these. I think what we should do is check to see if we have any game cards of that type. delete. Wait. No, don't delete them because somebody may be in possession of a get out of jail free card. So we should keep reusing what we have, and we have to exclude those as well. So, well, that's kind of fun, isn't it? I guess maybe we wouldn't have to. We could reassign that card to the next player or to the same player. Let's start there and see if maybe it might be, because I think it's going to be easier than trying to like reconcile all the records. I'm always, when I can get away with it, deleting and inserting is a lot easier than sorting, sifting, conditionally updating. Well, let's think that through a little bit. Because if everything is discarded, well, I won't have them to start. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So Happy Path, we don't have any game cards yet. We need to create those. So let's do that. So first we want to get the card records out. So let's load cards. Okay. I think we want all of them. Yeah. There's nothing we wouldn't want. Oops. So we just want get all cards. And we want a collection of cards, and there we go. So we load our cards, and then we need a game card collection to add these to. That's going to be a collection of game cards. Probably want to, that's what we want to output from this subflow, I think. Alright, so let's loop the cards. So we're going to loop through the cards, and we're going to create game cards in each iteration. So we should probably have a game card. That we can loop over. Okay. And now for each of those, let's do an assignment. So let's init game card. So we want to take our game cards card equals the current item in the loop. That'll be its ID. And we want to take the game, set the game cards game to the game that we passed in. Okay. Good. I think that's it. Let's take a look at our game card object. Card game. Sequence. We could do sequence in here. Oh, we do need to filter the load cards by the record type. I think we should pass in the record type ID. Will I know that? Will I know the record type ID? We could get it by name. I don't think I'm going to know it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to know it. So we need to query it out. I'm going to be a good boy, and because I don't think. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to traverse in the. I'm I'm only going to be able to get to the record type ID. I'm not going to be able to get to the record type .name. I sure wish I could, but we can't do that. So let's be a good boy, and we'll query out the record type. That's what you should do, kids. Get record type ID. So I'm going to get a record type, and the S object type, we need to set that, is, this is card. And the name is whatever we passed in, card record type. Okay, so I have that, and now I can use that here to filter. There we go. Okay. There, we got that. We need to init the sequence. Ooh, can we use our... we got a random generator. Let's use that, right? Roll. Let's use roll. Get sequence number. What's the... Well, we can get the count. Oh, I'm gonna put a dumb number in here right now. I know that's not right, but we can assign the we know the count of our get. I don't need to do that in the loop. Let's do that outside the loop. So we load our cards, and then let's get the count. Get card count. So we want a new number. This is card count. Number, no decimals, thank you. And that's card count's going to be is the count of load cards. There we go. Then we can use that for our sequence number. Right, so we're guaranteed to have the right number of cards there. Now, I don't really care if it's, I don't care if they're 1 through 40. I just want to be able to sort by sequence and pull where discarded is false and pull the next record. That's what's going to happen when we need to draw cards. So I think we're good. We don't need more than that. But cool, we're using our roll for random stuff. I like that. So we do our roll, and then we can set the sequence here. Game card sequence equals, where's our roll result? Oh, from our subflow value. There we go. Doop. Got that. Cool. Here, my phone. I don't know where it is. Where did I put you? 1 second. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're back. Okay. So we've initialized our game card. Now let's add it to the collection. And put this in the game card collection. Add game card. Okay. This is shuffle cards. Shuffle game cards. Okay. Then we insert those. Again, this is Happy Path. I think I'm going back and forth and I'm all sorry I'm being wishy-washy, but I think maybe reusing the reusing the collection the existing game cards might end up being easier. We just have to do some, we might need to have two conditions here through this flow to say, do I have them already or not? And if I do, I'm just keep thinking about if the condition was delete when it's time to reshuffle, delete all the game cards. I have to put the get out of jails somewhere, and I think that's going to be a big pain. Worse than, let's see, if all the cards are discarded, I query out the game cards. I'm just gonna loop through them, re-roll, uncheck discarded, except if it already has the whatchamacallit, except if it already has the get out of jail, because we're gonna have to store something else on get out of jail, because yeah. Well, no, we just won't discard it. If you get that card, we set you as the owner. It's not discarded yet. Stays put. If we have to shuffle while you're in possession, it won't get picked up because it's not discarded. And then when you do actually play it, it will be discarded, and then the next time you shuffle, it'll kick back in. So I think it's going to be easier to use the existing cards than to dump and start again. Now that begs the question of where do we put the logic that says, hey, create these game cards if they don't exist. I think we could probably just put it at the front of this logic, and if we do already have cards, we just skip it. So what I just did here was more. This is actually what we want it to do after we create them. So we're going to wait a minute and do it secondarily. So, but it's 6 o'clock, and I said it was going to be a short session today because we got started late and still wanted to end at the same time. So I am going to save this, shuffle game cards, make sure we've got it. I am going to pull the work that we've done here so far, and that will be the end of our short little stint. We got cards going. We don't have them going the whole way, but we'll pick that up again next time. And in the meantime, I'll get some data in here for the actual cards, and we'll have more useful looking data when we come in next week. So that's it. Short sesh. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.